Ever wondered what drives a man to the edge? What pushes someone, seemingly stable, into a desperate scramble for cash? We're not talking about a quick loan for a new car here. We're talking about a man, Roger Bank, who needed money. Not just a little, but a lot. And the question isn't just how much, but why. Transition to a more modern, clean graphic with the question, why did Roger Bank need money, prominently displayed. Let's rewind, shall we? To understand Roger Bank's predicament, we need to understand the man himself. He wasn't some shadowy figure lurking in back alleys. No, Roger Bank was a respected member of the community. A pillar, some might say. He was known for his sharp mind, his innovative ideas, and a certain ambition. A driving force that, as we'll see, ultimately led him down a precarious path. Cut to archival footage, or stylized recreations, of a bustling city street from a bygone era. Think 1950s or 60s, depending on the context you want to build. This was the world Roger Bank inhabited. A world of opportunity, of rapid expansion. A world where fortunes could be made and lost in the blink of an eye. He was an entrepreneur, a visionary, always looking for the next big thing. And he found it. Or, rather, he thought he did. Transition to a graphic showing a stylized blueprint or schematic of a complex machine or building. Roger Bank's passion project was ambitious, to say the least. He envisioned a revolutionary, let's call it a process, for now. A process that he believed would revolutionize his industry, whatever that may be in your narrative. It was cutting edge, experimental, and, crucially, incredibly expensive. Cut to a sequence of images or video clips showing the construction of something large and complex, possibly with a sense of urgency. The initial investment came from his own savings, from investors he'd cultivated over the years. But, as the project progressed, costs spiraled. Unexpected delays, technical hurdles, and the ever-present threat of competition meant that the initial budget was quickly exhausted. Transition to a graphic showing a graph with a sharp downward trend, representing dwindling finances. This is where the pressure began. Roger Bank was faced with a stark choice: abandon his dream or find a way to secure more funding. He was convinced that his process was on the verge of a breakthrough, that success was just around the corner. But time was running out. Cut to a series of close-ups on Roger Bank's face, showing increasing signs of stress and worry. Use subtle lighting and sound design to amplify the tension. The banks, wary of the high-risk nature of his project, were reluctant to lend him more money. He turned to private investors, but they demanded exorbitant interest rates and a significant share of his company. He was trapped in a financial vice. Transition to a sequence of images or video clips depicting clandestine meetings, whispered conversations, and a general sense of secrecy. Desperation breeds desperation. Roger Bank started to explore alternative, less conventional, sources of funding. He engaged in, let's call them irregular financial transactions. Deals made in the shadows, promises that were difficult to keep. He was walking a tightrope, balancing his ambition against the ever-present threat of exposure. Cut to a graphic showing a montage of news headlines, implying scandal and financial trouble. Rumors began to circulate. Whispers of financial irregularities, of questionable dealings. The pressure mounted, both from his creditors and from the authorities. Roger Bank was caught in a web of his own making. Transition to a more intimate, reflective sequence. Show Roger Bank alone, perhaps in his office or home, contemplating his situation. But why? Why risk everything? Was it simply greed? A desire for wealth and power? Or was it something more? Was it a belief in his vision, a conviction that he was on the verge of something truly groundbreaking? Cut to a series of flashbacks, showing Roger Bank working tirelessly on his project, his face lit by the glow of machinery or blueprints. Emphasize his dedication and passion. Perhaps it was a combination of both. He was driven by ambition, yes, but also by a genuine belief in the potential of his process. He saw it as a way to improve the world, to leave his mark on history. But his ambition blinded him to the risks, to the consequences of his actions. Transition to a sequence of images or video clips showing the collapse of his project, the dismantling of machinery, the emptying of his office. The inevitable happened. The financial house of cards collapsed. The project failed, the investors lost their money, and Roger Banks' reputation was tarnished. He was left with nothing but debt and regret. Cut to a series of newspaper clippings, legal documents, and official reports summarizing the aftermath of the scandal. The details of his irregular financial transactions were exposed, leading to legal action and public condemnation. He was a fallen hero, a cautionary tale. Transition to a more contemplative scene, perhaps showing a single object that represents Roger Banks' ambition, such as a broken piece of machinery or a faded blueprint. So, why did Roger Banks need money? It wasn't just about the money itself. It was about the dream, the vision, the ambition that drove him to the edge. It was about the belief that he could achieve something extraordinary, even if it meant taking extraordinary risks. Cut to a graphic with a single, powerful image of Roger Banks, perhaps older and more subdued. He was a man who dared to dream big, who dared to push the boundaries. But he also learned a hard lesson, that ambition without prudence can lead to ruin. That the pursuit of success at any cost can have devastating consequences. Transition to a final, clean graphic with the question, why did Roger Banks need money, again, but with a more reflective tone. The story of Roger Banks is a reminder that the pursuit of wealth and success can be a dangerous game. It's a story about the allure of ambition, the perils of desperation, and the importance of staying grounded in reality. It's a story that asks us to consider the true cost of our dreams. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.